Hello, welcome viewers to Healthy Wrinkles, the channel devoted to the healthcare of elderly and senior citizens. We have pleasure today to have Dr. Nasreen Rustom Fram, and I'll quickly introduce her to you before I jump into asking her questions in the area of specialization. Dr. Professor Nasreen Rustom Fram, she holds a doctoral degree from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, which is a very well-renowned institute in Mumbai, and everyone is aware about it. Having completed her post-graduation in social work from the same institute, she has worked for 42 years, a very long career where she has done a number of assignments, and some of the work that I'll be introducing what she has done. Of the 42 years, 35 years has been with the Institute, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and 7 years she has been working with NGO as well. So her experience is really well-rounded as far as the social work is concerned. Her substantial areas of are of interest are community health, education technology, gerontology, and social aspects of geriatric care. And hence today we are going to talk to her about area of gerontology and social aspects of geriatric care. So welcome, Dr. Rustom Fram, once again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my first question, doctor, to you is what is this geriatric counseling or gerontological counseling, and why it is needed?
Happy to be here with you, Srihari, and with Healthy Wrinkles. I know that your YouTube channel is much appreciated, and the messages that we give over this channel will go to a large group. So I'm really happy to be here today. To go to your question, counseling, as we all know, is a collaborative effort between a professional and a client. And basically what counselors do is to help their clients to set goals which will help them towards healthy solutions with regard to the problem that they face. And one thing that we always upfront say is that counseling is not advice, because there are a lot of people who, when they come to us and apply for the counseling training and the programs, and say that we've come for this program because people tell us we give them very good advice. And that makes us really actually nervous that, if you are a person who's giving advice, oh, well, then that's not counseling at all. So geriatric counseling obviously is where the professional would be working with a senior citizen. But it's not true. And a senior citizen is defined as somebody above the age of 60 or an older adult. But it is not always true that for some issues which we face in life, life events. So for example, the empty nest. It may happen before the age of 60. Your children may leave for education or migrate or leave home for work. And what we know as the empty nest phenomenon operates where the older couple is left alone. Sometimes it's not a couple also. One of the spouses may not be there. So, one of the parents is left alone. And this life event may occur at 55, 58. So, the age of 60 is not considered as sacrosanct. But it's just that for legal reasons, for concessions to the elderly and so on, you need to have some age which is defined. And internationally, the UN accepted 60 plus as senior citizens. And so we are going by that. But for the area of counseling, we need not go by that figure of 60 years at all. So I just wanted to make this clear in case people feel that, these programs are only for those above 60. There's nothing magical about the age of 60 that you suddenly improve or deteriorate, or no, there's nothing like that. Many people grow old even before they become 60. And many people remain young even when they are in their 70s. So it's a matter of how you see life and how you treat your life. The issue of counseling for seniors, since we are concentrating on geriatric counseling, arises because life events require a certain amount of coping. And during this particular period of life, one may feel overwhelmed at the number of changes that are happening. It's not that changes don't happen when you are young. When you are in your early 20s also, you may you may get married, you may take up a job, you may change jobs, you may start a family, and all of these are life events which require a good deal of adjustment and coping. But when you are young, the resources to cope seem to be relatively higher. However, it's not that during this stage of life people don't require counseling. They do very often, especially if you get into 2, 3 life events very close to each other. Even a young person of 27 may tend to feel overwhelmed, at having got married and starting a family, and maybe a job change is coming, and maybe a senior in the family falls ill. So kuch kam nahi hai, there are enough things happening at any stage in life. But around 55, 60, there are certain events which one requires a good deal of positivity to be able to deal with. So some of this, as we all know, one could be retirement, so loss of occupation. Another could be the loss of a dear one, especially a spouse. A third area could be the onset of some significant kind of illness or a medical problem, which one is not mentally prepared for. And so it just suddenly springs up on you. And then again, it could be elder care. There are people in their 50s who also have older people in their 70s or 80s. And elder care at that time may become a little more acute, And you yourself are almost an elder, and then there you are having to look after people older than you. So in all these situations, is an aspect that we should take as part of developmental counseling. It's not that there's anything pathological about any of this. These are life events which are they are kind of predictable, that some losses are going to happen, retirement is going to happen, some amount of, medical issues to the body bound to arise at some point in life, unless one is very lucky and has lived an excellent lifestyle and, nothing really happens.
Right.
So, but these are all kind of normal in our movement up the ladder of life.
Right.
And so counseling is developmental, and then counseling can also be therapeutic. So therapeutic counseling comes into play when, there is anything like Alzheimer, dementia, depression, any form of, personality disorders which suddenly sort of increase in intensity. And all of these would be then more therapeutic forms.
So, doctor, currently then who recommends this kind of counseling services? Like, is it like any doctor or a geriatrician or a psychiatrist or, patients on own or caregivers bring them? Like, how does it happen today?
So in most cases today, it is the caregivers who are bringing people to counseling. Unfortunately, and I say this with a good deal of consciousness, that the medical profession does not seem inclined to take on counseling as an issue to be encouraged early on. Unless somebody is diagnosed with, say, insomnia and, comes with a somatic complaint. So the complaint is to do with the body. And then when you check up and you find that the person has no physical illness, right, or nothing else, and then you sort of narrow it down to, some problem that requires counseling. It is only then that the medical profession tends to, and even so, they prefer to recommend a psychiatrist rather than a counselor. And actually, we know that, psychiatric drugs have several after effects, and counseling in that sense is a much more holistic, comprehensive, and a healthy solution. Sometimes when problems are acute, you may definitely require, medical intervention and psychiatric drugs. But counseling is a much more healthier option to drugs. and medical profession is still taking its own time to acknowledge this. And having said that, I do know that there are medical professionals who are very much aware, and they do recommend counseling at an early stage. But by and large, this is not done in the medical community. So most people who are referred to counselors are referred by, say, social service personnel, or they are referred by, intervention is sought when people may become violent or really depressed, or when daily life functioning is impaired and the person is in confusion, unable to manage their daily activities, and it is then that they are often brought for counseling, referred for